It's the most insane thing ever, Ian. Our ads is literally a custom audience of the people that are following our page. We're not doing anything else but just running it against that audience.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Trending Podcast. I want to introduce a very special guest. His name is Gagan. He is everywhere on the internet. It's actually a little annoying. Gagan, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Just take a moment, tell people who you are, and then we'll go into some deeper stuff.
I'm the guy that annoys Ian, apparently. Well, now we know.
Not really, obviously, but you're everywhere. And it's inspiring to see your face all over the internet as an agent who's been doing this for a minute. And I'm like, he came out of, I'm going a little far. Tell people who you are. Tell people who you are.
Super funny. My name is Gagan. I'm a local agent in Rochester, but we moved to Columbus, Ohio last year to kind of give a backstory of how we built what we built. My mom got hit by a car while I was living in Denver. This was her third car accident. And she's very spiritual, like to a fault. And she told me, hey, this house is cursed. We're leaving. And I was like, all right, Mom, perfect. So apparently the house is cursed. Our entire family lives in Columbus, Ohio. And I realized before moving to a market, it's going to take a few months to actually get opportunities there. A buddy of mine, Bill Olson, Brad Armstrong, had started this content where they started to talk about the news, the developments. So we started to realize, hey, this is an opportunity here to use fame as a business model. Sharon, my quote unquote real dad, says fame is the most effective business model. So we started incorporating that. And then moving forward, we've just been able to grow really, really fast. And we've had a lot of fun with it.
Man, I'm so glad to hear it. What I was saying earlier about you being everywhere is your news reels and just content that you're putting out is across multiple platforms and has kind of infiltrated the algorithm. I think most agents want to be able to do that. And so I think this is why this is such a good conversation to have. Tell us a little bit about what your purpose is behind what you're doing, what platform you're using, maybe little touches on what you're doing and how you're getting out there so well.
Yeah. So that's a pretty multifaceted question, right? So I'll start off with I think the overview of how to really focus on the idea as a whole. When you start using fame as a business model, if we're talking to anyone that's watching or you, Ian, Brad Pitt came here and was like, hey, for $10,000, I'll teach you how to act and I'll give you all my connections. You're saying, hey, take my Bitcoin. You got this. You know what I mean? I'll pay for whatever. I'll take a credit card. So when we think about that perspective, if Brad Pitt came to the market and was like, I'm going to start selling homes in Austin, it's going to happen, right? My example is Barack Obama came to Dallas. Barack Obama came to Columbus and he said, hey, I'm a realtor here. It's over. I've lost.
Over. Yeah.
Right. And that's because he's incredibly famous. So our idea was to start using this incorporation of local market knowledge as a top of funnel and then move that inward. Instead of building our own, instead of buying leads and trying to formulate this bottom of funnel notion, we let the top essentially allocate movement patterns to build its own bottom for us. So what that means is if someone's looking to buy a house right now, they're first looking at neighborhoods, they're looking at restaurants, they're looking at all these things. And that's dictated by laws, regulations, developments, all of those things. So if we can incorporate an idea in which all of those topics are spoken about simultaneously, we then don't need to pay $500 to $1,000 per lead because we're building our own bottom.
Right.
Social media essentially acts like our own CRM. And we use a tool called Metricool. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I've heard of that. It's been a minute though. Okay.
Yeah. So it literally just posts everywhere for us.
Yeah.
So instead of having to post on Facebook, on Instagram, on all these different platforms, it does it. And the the idea with that is Ryan Serhant said the husband sees me on the news, the wife sees me on TikTok, and the husband sees me on the news, the wife sees me on Netflix, and the kids see me on TikTok. And that's why I win. Right. Our idea is to do the exact same thing. So then we take the notions that we have, put them from an algorithm standpoint with a direction at the end, which is usually a CTA to comment the word report. And then we take that into a newsletter. And then on that newsletter, we run retargeting ads against them on Meta. And then we publish our YouTube videos directly onto the newsletter. So then when it's premiering, it gets this slight boost and then it starts putting it out to more people. So it's not just one thing. It's like a multifaceted ecosystem where they never forget us.
When you are building the retargeting or any ads or I'll say any of the systems, are you doing this? Do you have help doing this?
Yeah. So I'm a back-end kind of guy. I've always just enjoyed being in front of the camera. And I'll say something pretty controversial. I don't even show houses anymore. When I tell agents that, they lose their mind. They're like, you don't show houses. I don't even write contracts. Yeah. If you look up my name and my number, you won't see anything. We sold 15 homes. We had a bunch of referrals go out, but I got nothing.
I do want to say 15 homes for people that aren't haven't been in the game a while, in the real estate a while, the average realtor last year, the last 2 years, sold 0 to 1 homes. So 15 homes is still incredible, especially for someone who's not pushing that.
No, my goal was agent attraction. We can speak about that later, bro. I've been the fastest grower in Real's history at 21, 22, and now 23. I'm sitting at 165 agents right now. So selling homes is kind of a byproduct of building fame. To answer your question, I've had a team recently that's alleviated a lot of the burden for me, but originally we were doing all of this ourselves.
Yeah.
We're talking 12 to 14 hours of scraping content, pushing it out. And I got completely burnt out. And I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. So we talked about this offline, but now I've got 5 virtual assistants to help. We've got 2 video editors. We've got a graphic designer. We've got an actual VA that just like takes all of my ideas and put it into writing. And then we've got someone that scours information. And then I wake up, I say, hey, these topics we need to talk about. I make a video for it, put it in the Google Drive, and then they take care of the rest.
There was, I think we were talking a couple days ago, and I said something like, how many videos do you have ready to go like out the gate? I know this is a unique circumstance because you're getting ready to go on vacation, but it's not even the new year, and you already have a front load set of videos. Approximately how many do you have?
We got 46 long form videos ready to be published.
And long form is, 5 to 10 minutes or longer.
20 to 25.
20 to 25 minutes. You do realize you just made, like, if there was a series on TV, that is 3 seasons.
Yeah, something like that.
It's 3 seasons.
Dude, it's I'll tell you why we do it. Like, I've gone back and forth with my friends because I'm like, hey, we need to start long form. And they're like, oh, it's long, it's arduous. And I'm like, that's the whole point. Right? There's going to be 40 different agents that are making these short form media style videos, but there's going to be 2 that are making long form. And then when you look at the numbers, like I can pull it up here and I can show it to you guys as well. But when you look at my specific numbers, right? This video right here is sitting currently at a watch time of 10 minutes. Yes. My average reel gets 15 seconds. You would need to watch 45 reels to get the equivalency of watching 1 long form video. The trust that you can build with long form is incredible, which is why we do these things simultaneously, not in opposition to each other.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that people put so much emphasis on the reels. The reels are so top of funnel in most cases where they just get people to know who you are, but not to understand who you are and the value that you bring. Yeah. So it's very cool. I'm glad that you've been focusing on that a lot. So you would say that YouTube is your current like platform of choice for long form stuff? Or do you also have longer form reels and Facebook videos?
So our idea with everything that we're building is a very simple motto, which isn't seconds of value, it's value per second, right? So like there is no duration that's like, there is no specific quantifiable duration this is the end point for us. For us, it's how many seconds of value can we give? And if that's 30 seconds, that's 30 seconds. If it's a minute and a half, it's a minute and a half. And I think with that idea, we've been able to grow to 35,000 followers in under 7 months. I checked the numbers today. We're sitting at 5.2 million views in the last 30 days. And all of that has came from that idea of, hey, how can I make this as short as possible?
And so Metricool gives you all of the data that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And so when you're using Metricool, that connects to what platforms for agents?
We connected to TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And it will auto post on all of those platforms?
Yeah. You just have to do some, like you literally add the video to the app and then you say, I want to post these here. You add a title for it and then it posts it for you.
We live in a world where everybody wants your money for something. And I remember meeting Metricool 3 years ago at an event called Social Media Marketing World with Michael Stelzner. Have you heard of him?
I have not.
Dude, I've met Sean Kennel. Obviously, I'm friends with Christina Smallhorn. I've never met Mr. Beast, but like all the bigger YouTubers that have been in the game I met them all at this small event. Yeah. It's so crazy. But I bring that up because they have the little vendor shops, and I met Metricool there, and they were selling. I don't know what you're paying for it. This is why I'm assuming this is going to be funny. They were selling Metricool, I want to say annually for $45.
Ooh, wow. I pay $18.
You pay how much?
$18 a month.
Okay. A month. Yeah. That's still extremely reasonable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Sure. All right. No. So they've even held their value with that. And it's just solid metrics across all the platforms. Yeah. And you don't get knocked because you're not publishing through the platforms themselves.
Yeah, you don't. So if you want a free version, Edits works really well as well. Like
Hmm.
Edits has all the information. Like it's right there. It's very prevalent on the bottom right corner.
Yeah, but that's for Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to work for YouTube and TikTok. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So, how much time would you say you spend on creating this content for people?
It depends, really. Like it's very week by week. More than anything else, I think our goal is to figure out like how much value can we give in the marketplace because we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, like I have a quote with my team, which is a man that steals one thing is a thief. A man that steals 100 things is a genius. Right. So my goal is just to become the best thief in the market. And I've met with Ken Pozak at Rise when we were there together. And I literally told him, I was like, hey man, like I'm your biggest copycat. Like I steal all the time from you. And he just laughed, which is the right idea, right? Because when you're seeing people like Kyle Talbot, Brandon Blankenship, like they're performing really well and they orchestrated something before us. Why would I want to reinvent the wheel when they're doing really successful things? You know what I mean?
It's so funny. I had Brandon Blankenship. So I'm
Yeah.
from Chicago originally, right? I had
Oh,
him on this podcast 4 years ago before nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew who Matt Leonetti was. I had him on the podcast. I had all these people that are now everyone knows who they are that have this fame.
yeah.
You can see in people the trajectory that they're going to go by the value that they put out there. And that's why I was excited to have this conversation with you because you're absolutely one of those people.
I appreciate that, man. No, I got to give a huge shout out to my buddy, Brad Armstrong. He runs a page called That Arizona Life, but he actually put me onto Metricool and him and I connect a lot. But one of the things that we've been speaking about is he's like, hey, Gagan, like he's a perfectionist. I'm not. Like, I think one of my greatest qualities of as an entrepreneur is my ability to just simply not care. And
That's
I
good.
so much like it's to a fault. You know what I mean? That's why I can't really find any successful relationships. But that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
But like I'm one of those people when I have an idea, I will execute upon that idea. Like last night at 11:45, I think I posted a story of me running an ad. And that's because at 11:40, I was like, oh, what if I made this as an ad? And then I made it. Brad is not like that. So Brad is this has to be perfect. So what we found when we started doing all this together to tie it all in is quantity defeats quality. Because you are simply the messenger of the information that people care about. They don't necessarily care about how you position it. Meaning that if there's a massive new restaurant that's coming, they care about the restaurant. They don't necessarily care about you having a suit on, you doing your makeup. So with all of my coaching clients, especially with women, they're like, oh, I got to look good. I'm like, you don't, not as much as you think. So I remember I was speaking with Brandon and Bill and they're like, dude, you're caring too much right now. So that's what kind of moved that platform.
When I was at Lana Rodriguez, she's one of our mutual friends and agents in Colorado. Yeah. She had an event. She does an event every year, and she had me speak at this event. And I said, I almost mirrored exactly what you said in that people focus too much on their appearance before they hop on camera. And all that does is delay the value that you're going to put out into the world. You're too focused on yourself. You're not focused on the content. And so that's why people always end up lacking in the content that they put out. It's really challenging to see, like from the outside looking in, to see somebody who just isn't doing the things that they say they want to do. It's like, just do it. It's going to be bad, but do it.
There's an idea that we have like in the back of our minds. Like there was this guy online who was giving away gold and people were like, oh, I don't want that. Like, I don't want it. And he's like, oh, okay. So like anytime that we're thinking about making something, it's like, wait, is this a piece of gold or a piece of trash? Because if it's a piece of gold, then I don't necessarily care if people aren't going to accept it, right? Which then therefore must mean that the content must be gold. But that's how we think about things. It's like, I'm giving value to the marketplace. Like there's going to be people that are going to be anti me, anti the conversation, whatever, but there's a massive majority of people that care about you. They just happen to be the silent majority because haters are more loud than anything else.
Yes, they are. You know, you're very good at bringing up anecdotes and phrases and quotes and lessons learned. And it's kind of fun. You said earlier, jab, 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 right hook. Can you explain what that is to people just in general, like as a construct or framework?
I can give another perspective, another hint. Like if I'm going on a date with a girl, I can't ask her to marry me there. You know what I mean? Like we got to get to know each other.
It just won't work.
Maybe not for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it will.
I'm just messing with you. No, it definitely won't work. Trust me, I've tried it. But it may work on the 10th, the 15th, because there's a longer duration of audience trust, right? People forget about that trust factor because a lot of content that I'm seeing with agents, it's just, hey, we sold this property, or it's, hey, look, I'm this amazing agent. I sold these. Like, no one cares. Like, I don't post the fact that I've got deals under contract because simply no one cares, right? It doesn't mean anything for me. So instead of thinking about what it means for me, you got to start thinking about what it means for them, right? And that shift in mindset creates a lot of better content. So the jab, 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 right hook is I want to give you something, I want to give you something, I want to give you something, and then I want to ask for something.
Yeah.
Right. So the content that we're giving out is, hey, look, there's 5 new restaurants that came to Columbus this week. You don't need to understand what it is because I did the research for you. Oh, this guy understands this market. He understands what's coming. I can trust him. There's a little bit of study. I think it was 2023, and you probably know this, Ian, but 97% of consumers say the number one thing that they're looking for with an agent is local market expertise.
Local market expertise. Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So what are we doing by building this media outlet? We're demonstrating local market expertise. Like your value is much, much greater in demonstration and articulation than actual activity.
Yeah.
Right. Like show, not tell. So the jab, jab, jab is just simply this is coming here, this is coming here, this is coming here. Let's work together. And
so what are your sources? How do you find information that you think people need to know?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's actually really interesting. Before the 10,000 mark, I was scouring the business journal. I was going on news channels. I was looking at other Instagrams. I was just kind of mimicking 10,000 to 20,000. We kind of moved away from doing that. My assistant started finding the information. We use a tool called Perplexity, and Perplexity finds a lot of the information for us. And then now sitting at 30,000, I'd say about 50% of our conversations are from DMs. Like, if there's a new coffee shop coming on, they're going to be like, hey, we really love the information that you put out in the Columbus report. Would you be willing to talk about us?
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So it becomes a really good horizontal to the business as well, right? Like, let's say transaction counts are down. You can then promote a business, charge them a specific amount of money, and then that becomes a horizontally integrated part of the business model. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm guessing what's going to happen at 50 is we're going to start truly becoming famous. We're going to start getting invited to events, things of that nature. I've been invited to speak to meet with the governor. I've been invited to meet with representatives, people that are running like locally that are doing. I've met with a lot of wealthy people, and it's all because I built something that they care about.
Right.
I hope that answered your question.
No, it absolutely does. I think not only just giving value, but finding the value that they're gonna be researching it anyway, and you're just front loading it. But also, the most interesting part of that to me was the DMs. People are now DMing you, asking you to cover them, or maybe even telling you about things that are coming in advance.
So it's not just like, because our idea is value with values.
Okay.
Right? Value with values. Because I don't just want to give you value, I want to share my values as well. And for me, it's me working out, it's me loving Taco Bell. Like I post Taco Bell every single week. And it's so funny, Ian, because now I'm like, we're operationalizing a franchise with someone that I'm building a Taco Bell with.
Oh, that's crazy.
How insane is that? Right? I posted weekly that I'm at Taco Bell. This guy's like, hey, I own like 100 Taco Bells. I'd love to franchise with you. Like, that's insane. Right? So those are my values. Like I post my siblings, all these things, and people love that. So these DM conversations aren't just simply like, hey, we're opening a restaurant. They're like, hey, Gagan, I saw you were at the gym last week. I think I saw you there. We're doing this with my mom and pop shop. Would love it if you would cover.
Yeah.
And then when you do something for them, reciprocity says that they're going to want to do something for you, which is oftentimes buy a house.
Absolutely. The law of reciprocity, man. It's so powerful, and yet so few people leverage it well. Okay, so if you had something that you wanted to give to agents after this conversation, what is something that you feel every agent needs to focus on for the upcoming year in order to maintain relevancy as we have these changes?
That's a great question. I think it's not a matter of or anymore. Like people need to stop thinking from a perspective of or, right? People need to start thinking from a perspective of and. It's not content or ads, it's content and ads. It's not, these two things they're not parallel. Like the growth becomes exponential when you combine multiple factors. Like today is the day after Christmas. I just turned on a Meta ad, a Google ad, and then created 4 pieces of content. And I want to launch all these things simultaneously so people don't forget about us.
Right?
Because most people will forget. Like if you think to yourself, Name 3 reels on Instagram that you watched yesterday or the day before. You can't.
Not really.
Right?
Maybe one.
It's because we're so fast paced, dude. Like we forget that, which is why we must build relevancy. So to answer your question, I think agents, number one, need to shift from this model of just documentation to authoritarian building, which is, hey, if I'm living in Columbus, I need to speak about what's happening here. If I'm living in Florida, it's a complete different pace of life.
It is.
So the marketing needs to be different. Florida's a lifestyle. You need to sell that lifestyle. Columbus, not. It's not necessarily lifestyle. Like people aren't retiring thinking, oh, I want to move to Columbus, Ohio, but they are thinking that about Tampa, Florida, which is why
Columbus is a healthcare hub.
yes, I'm actually building the same page in Tampa. Like it's one of the fastest growing pages in Tampa as well, which is crazy.
Why in Tampa?
My mom wants the heat.
She wants to live there?
Yeah. So she doesn't like the cold. Like so my parents were born in Bhutan. I was born in Nepal. And then there was a genocide in Bhutan, which forced my parents to become refugees in Nepal.
Okay.
And we became immigrants in America in 2008 because the International Organization of Migration moved us here.
Okay.
So I say all of that to say, like, my parents have always been acclimated to wet to warm climates.
Yes.
And now they're living in Rochester, New York. And New York is not a warm climate.
Not at all.
Columbus isn't a warm climate either. So they're like, oh, God, I want to live somewhere warm. And I've been to Tampa. I've been to Orlando. And I just love Tampa. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's buckle up. Give me another 6 months and we'll do what we did for Columbus here.
So fun. That's fun. And they've spent time there in Tampa?
They've never been to Florida.
I mean, people move for love or for money.
Yeah.
Ultimately. And you're basically saying you're going to go build a life in Tampa and then you're going to be like, parents, come hang out down here.
Yeah, basically. Because, yeah.
They haven't even been there. But they're moving for love, which is you, because you can establish a living there. So, all right.
They better move. I was going to say.
I think it's funny that they've never been there and you're going to lead the way. And it's fine. I mean, people do it all the time. They move to be closer to their family. So
it's exciting. No, I mean, everything that like people, I posted this on my thing. Like people either have massive whys or they don't have a why at all. Like I've been blessed enough that I have a massive why. And that's like my parents, like my dad works as a janitor. My mom works as a janitor. Like now they're in a position now where they don't need to work if they don't want to anymore. We can talk about this later, but like the revenue share with Real Broker has literally like changed my life to the point where my parents don't need to work. And now that I don't want to call myself famous. I hate using that word, but like now that I have built an audience in Columbus.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm able to monetize off of that audience in which my parents can now do things with me. So for example, we want to do a lot of fix and flips. And my dad's a very like he's a go-getter, he's a driver. He's like, I want to do these things. He's always been nervous about making that move and not having a job. And I'm like, well, Pops, you can just come work with me and you can just paint the house. Right. So things like this, all of which are now accessible because of us building media, which I think that's the biggest leverage point.
Man, it's so crazy to think that I'm not going to say, well, newer to Real in the grand scheme of things for as long as Real's been around. You
haven't been around as long as you have, for sure.
And it's watching the acceleration and the fact that there's just like Real is one of those companies that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. We have not hit the bell curve like some of these other companies have. And
yeah,
so it's just exciting to see the path that you're on. And I'm happy to be like, a small part of that journey with you.
You're a big part, man. It's really awesome, Ian, because, I always joke that we're 4 letters. That's why we're better than 3-letter companies. But I'm just kidding. We just last week, we brought over I don't want to say brought over, but we've been able to associate ourselves with a 3rd largest team in Rochester, New York. And he just joined us at Real Broker last week. When we asked why, he said, well, in 2019, there was another company that was sitting at 30,000 people. And in 2020, they absolutely exploded. And he goes, I saw that. And I was like, it's time. So because of that, it's been awesome. And for me, like personally, like Real has changed my life financially and also just like with my friends. Imagine the time that it would have taken me to make the mistakes that I would have made had I not been at Real and started this entire thing. Like Brandon, it took him 4 years to build this page. It took me a year. And it's because of people like Bill Olson, Brad, people like you that I get to like learn from the mistakes that you guys have made because Real is such a collaborative company.
It is. It's a very collaborative company. Man. Well, this is a fine example, right? Like just being here, having these conversations, sharing it with the world, like you said, jab, jab, jab. I have one last like business relevant question, I think, and then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Last question. Based on your net, your profit, or what your income is, how much of that are you spending on ads, whether retargeting or first contact ads?
Okay. The first contact ads. So the rule of thumb is generally 70% goes to the first one, 15% goes to the second one, and 15% goes to the third one. So if we're allocating, to answer your question more broadly, I don't save a single dime. Every single money, all the money I make goes back into the business. But I'd say if we're thinking, let's say like $10,000 just to be, I'm definitely not spending $10,000 a month. We're talking about maybe like three-ish with the VAs, with everything. If we're spending 10,000, I'd say 7,000 goes to reach the people. And then the other 15 goes down to converting those people, which is really interesting because the top of funnel for ads generally is a larger, broader audience. But for us, it's simply a custom audience that's against the audience that we already have.
Got it. To acquire more people that you didn't reach organically.
No. So our ads, literally, it's the most insane thing ever, Ian. Our ads is literally a custom audience of the people that are following our page.
Oh, I see. Other way around. Okay.
Yeah. So we're not doing anything else but just running it against that audience.
So the people that know you, like you, trust you, you're basically trying to stay omnipresent in their world, in their face, and all the things that they're doing.
Yes, sir.
And they just see your news, you're smiling. They don't miss anything that way because we know that people won't just subscribe or follow you or comment, and they'll lurk. And so this gives them a chance to see you with their own level of control, if you will.
Yes, sir. I got a text from a buddy of mine. He's like, Gagan, why are you on my YouTube? Because I popped in as a video ad for like his page. He's like, why do I see you everywhere? And that's kind of what we want to do. Like I told this to Brad, he laughed. You'll laugh too. But like when we hit 35K, I ran that as a retargeting ad because I didn't get the amount of likes that I wanted.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I was like, oh, now you guys are going to see me more.
Nice.
But it's really cool because like when you look at, because I'm a data person, all of our costs, like the cost per click, cost per like CPMs, even the ROAS, like the cost of everything has gone down, Ian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were spending, I think it was like $1.50 per newsletter follower. Now it's down to like 50 cents. And it's because they already know me.
Right. Because people aren't spending the same amount of money and the competition has saturated so much, especially with AI.
Yeah. They also know who I am because it's the audience is just a custom audience against that page.
Yeah. I love it. Do you teach this kind of stuff and you coach independently? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a coaching organization. We've helped 11 people go from 0 to 11,000 followers, 0 to 10,000 followers in about 6 months. And we give them, like, we just give them everything. So we have obviously this basis, but then we have ads that our team runs with them. And then the best part is we have our own VAs that they get at a 90% discount.
They get at a 90% discount?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. All right. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, and I'll make sure to put this information in the description below, but if somebody wanted to contact you, what's the best channel?
Instagram's good. You can just call me too. The phone number won't work because I'll be in Thailand for like 4 months, which another thing about content, right, is I can travel and stuff. But Gagan Leads is my Instagram. It's my agent-facing one. You can just DM me. We can talk there.
I'll put that in there. Thank you so much, man. I think this was extremely valuable, and people will be watching this a few times trying to get the golden nuggets. You dropped a bunch of them. So thank you so much.
Dude, we're open books, man. Like we really are, you know, like that's just the culture that we built. Like I can reach out to you with anything. Like people can reach out to me with anything. And like, we're not going to hold anything back. So if anyone has questions, like, please don't hesitate to reach out.
It's so appreciated. Thank you so much, man. Everybody, take care. Have yourself a good day. See y'all in the next video.